Coming to you from his downtown Denver studio, here's the Backstage Jazz radio show with your host, Steve Roby.
Hello, hello. Welcome to the Backstage Jazz radio show. I'm Steve Roby. My guest today is James McAndrew from the band Milquetoast Co. He'll discuss the band's upcoming show at Dazzle on Saturday, November 11th, and their new album, Run Rant Rave. Welcome to Backstage Jazz, James.
Thank you so much for having me, Steve. Thank you.
Glad you could be here. Can you tell our listeners about Milquetoast Co.'s history and unique sound?
Sure. Well, Milquetoast Co. started in Boston, actually, in about 2005, at which point kind of walked miles by like 2010. I was already burnt out of that, and eventually, about 10 years later, I was kind of talked into bringing the band back, essentially. And of course, since then, I had moved from Boston to Denver. So in 2018, I started actually kind of attempting to gather some new members. Ended up meeting some of the finest people I've ever met, some of the best friends I've ever had, let alone kind of the exhaustive attempt to try to find members to a band that existed a decade prior. Not only that, but 2,000 away. It was quite an experience. So it was wonderful. So as far as the sound is concerned, I attribute it's kind of an odd eclectic, and I attribute that to the different styles of music that each of the individual players play on in their own right. You know, classical musicians, jazz musicians, and especially when you start incorporating jazz chords onto rock kind of pop music, you're going to get something completely different. So, and we just don't stay really bound to any genre. So we've been easily pocketed in the indie folder, so to speak.
That happens.
So,
yeah.
But we have been called, I can't remember what review this was, but we were called alternative jazz. Which was, I have no idea what that is. And I don't know if that person has ever listened to jazz just on its own. I don't know what the alternative is that.
Okay. Well, that was a great explanation there. You are playing a pretty much jazz venue in downtown Denver. And I'm just curious how the jazz elite crowd will accept Milquetoast Co.
Well, they have in the past. First of all, we're kind of laced with jazz players in the Denver scene. So, we don't have a full-time horn player. Both Sam Oates has played with us in the past, and Gabriel Mine. He's frequented he's played Dazzle quite a few times.
Yeah.
Along with our own lead guitarist Ben Parrish, immersed in the jazz scene, well known, so to speak, in that scene for sure. And so we kind of got in that way, but it was actually the owner, Don, that saw us at a festival, an outdoor festival that escapes my memory. At any rate, Don had seen us and said, "You should play my venue." And we had no idea who he was. And then, quickly found out. Fell in love with the location that they had prior to this one, and just really wanted to put a show there. A friend of ours we had gone to, Lauren Freehoff, was playing there, and that was kind of where we approached and said, "Hey, just love the venue. I love the sound of the venue."
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to, or we all are, looking forward to playing the new spot.
Yeah, it's a great venue. Very casual, but modern, I would say,
Yeah, so we were invited to play.
Very good.
Dazzle.
All right. Well, let's give our listeners a taste of your music. This is your latest single called Phantoms. And what can you tell our listeners about this song?
It is musically emotional. It's pretty dramatic on purpose. This story is more what you kind of make of it, but kind of waking up from a way of life that you thought was the right way to go, and then hoping to kind of keep what you loved on the other side of that awakening, so to speak. But there's a lot of beautiful touches in the middle of it, and it's very classical, so to speak. There's, horns of Sam Oates and the cello of Joe Engel.
Yeah, it sounds great on headphones, by the way, too.
Oh, thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Here's Phantoms by Milquetoast Co. on Backstage Jazz.
that's where you aim. And I've seen all the phantoms that struck you before. All I want to know is, are we still on for tonight? 'Cause I like to see you are the vision that saved my sight, and I was the phantom that kept you up at night. I'm sure you'd like to know who I was in my past life. I swear I'll tell you in the straight down the middle, you cut it deep. And I hate the phantom that kept you up at night. I know you're not a waste, and I love you all of the time. Do what you need for you. Say hi, the vision who saved your sight. Well, I was the phantom who loved you in your past life. I never left you though. You left yourself blind. I will stay with you through the morning.
My guest is James McAndrew from the band Milquetoast and Company, and they'll be appearing at Dazzle on November 11th. Before we play the next track, I was curious, who does the beautiful cover art on your releases? Just amazing.
We were just talking, I'm at our rehearsal house. We were just actually talking about that artwork. I got involved with, we had always taken pictures for any of the album art, for the most part. They've always been that way. I was dabbling in this AI art program and just kind of became obsessed with it. So, and it was interesting on how you had to kind of prompt the AI, so to, I guess, to make something. I loved it. And there were just certain ways I wanted to describe the songs, and I used those song descriptions to kind of push how the art was being made. And as creeped out as I am with AI and all that, it's just like this thing really spoke to me. I'm like, this is useful.
Yeah, I mean,
this is great.
If that's what it can do, it's beautiful. I mean, For our listeners that haven't seen the cover, I would probably do a terrible job of describing it, but go ahead. It's on the ocean somewhere.
Oh, on the cover of Run Rant Rave there?
No, for Phantoms. Looks like a sea captain
Phantoms.
and a horse and a lady horse. And what's going on?
Well, one of the prompts that was very interesting was I was using Don Quixote as a theme. So in all of the images, it's a different version of Don Quixote in a different kind of circumstance. I was able to throw some Easter eggs in there. Some just came out really brilliant, and I had nothing to do with it. But I kind of found, fun meaning within them once it was kind of created. But that being said, the issue with all of these things is that everything looks fine at first glance, but if you look at it really, what AI doesn't understand is that a man's boot riding a horse isn't the same as a hoof, so it will draw kind of a hoof, and the hands aren't quite right. And it was so interesting to kind of utilize that result in terms of kind of reflecting what the music, may or may not be, or what it kind of is, at first glance, it's like, oh yeah. But if you look closer, there's some just really odd details that give you cause to pause. So, and I hope that's something that we kind of create,
I like it. I was hoping there was a physical media of it, like a vinyl version or a picture sleeve or something like that, so I could appreciate it longer.
Yeah. So we'll see about the vinyl.
Yeah.
See how many more boxes of vinyl I'd like to collect.
Yeah. Okay. Let's play another track. This one's called "The Good Line." Can you tell us about this one?
It's not jazz, and it's kind of this rockabilly kind of Southern-esque shuffle kind of piece. It was just more fun. We were trying to put something on the album that was a little bit more upbeat and less extremely dramatic. We put some really dramatic tracks on here, and it was nice to kind of give something a little bit more up tempo.
Okay, well, let's play it now. This is "The Good Line" by Milquetoast Company.
Cross those fingers and hope to God you're right. Cross those fingers and hope to God you're right. You're standing in the good line, single file with a smile. Cross those fingers and hope to God you're right. What does the sign say? Go back the other way. Cross those fingers and hope to God you're right. Cross those fingers and hope to God you're right. You're standing in the good line, single file for a mile. Cross those fingers and hope to God you're right. What does the sign say? Go back the other way. I'm not a fool. I'm certainly not afraid. 'Cause I won't wait for the train to come my way. No, I know what I want. I know what I really, really want. Cross those fingers and hope to God you're right. Cross those fingers and hope to God you're right. Cross those fingers and hope to God. Cross those fingers and hope to God. Cross those fingers and hope to God you're right. What does the sign say?
Let's talk about your upcoming album release show at Dazzle. I understand you'll be joined by a horn and string section and a featured singer. Tell me more.
Absolutely. This last single that you had played, Phantoms, features Lauren Freehoff. And this is the last single that we released. We were really happy to be able to work with her. You know, we've played some of these songs live since, but we haven't played the whole thing in its entirety. So we thought, well, if we're going to play that one, especially that, we want to have Lauren on there. And her voice is just stunning. And it was also appropriate to just have her open the show. So she's going to open the show. She's going to step in here and there during the performance. And then we do have the string quartet, and Gabriel Morphine will be our horn player that evening. And we're going to be as close to the album as we possibly can. So that was the only way to do it.
Are you going to be offering CDs of the album, or a way they can download it? Or?
Yes. Actually, there's an interesting demand for actual physical CDs. So at that show, we're handing out complimentary copies of that. Great. I didn't know CDs were still a thing, but someone said, just do that. And I said, all right. So, and because I think it releases about a week after.
Okay. So you can get an advanced copy before anyone else can get it. How cool is that?
A physical, tangible item.
Nice.
If nothing else.
I like it. So I'll tell our listeners how they can get tickets in a minute, but have you got time for a quick lightning round set of questions before we wrap things up?
Sure.
Okay. Here we go. What music are you currently listening to?
None, but there's a cello going on downstairs. So
okay.
That's about what's happening. I can hear the cello through the floor.
How cool is that? What's your all-time favorite album?
Oh, can I throw out 3?
Yeah, okay. Let me ask the judges.
I know that's...
Judges say yeah.
And I mean, this isn't no particular order, but there's a few that come to mind, which is Alice, which is Tom Waits, the Pixies, Surfer Rosa, and I'll throw OK Computer, Radiohead.
Okay. Next question. What's the first record you ever bought, and where did you buy it?
Does first thing I've ever stolen count?
Okay. We won't tell.
The first thing I lifted from a Strawberries, when that was the thing, was Earth, Wind, and Fire.
All right. Which one?
No, I couldn't tell you, but I just remember it was Earth, Wind, and Fire, and I had no idea who that was. I was being naughty, and I was told to return it. So... But I do remember listening to a lot of Michael Jackson Thriller. So let's go there.
Okay. What musician other than yourself have you ever wanted to be?
Yeah, well, I don't know that I've ever wanted to be, but I mean to work with, it would be.
Okay. Let's go with that.
Probably I would love to. Gosh, that is tough. Just because I threw him out anyway, Tom Waits out of, probably 10 that I just can't think of other than, but he's fresh on my mind.
Okay.
It'd be amazing to work with him. Oh, Michael Kiwanuka.
Ooh, okay.
He would be amazing to work with.
What do you sing in the shower or in your car? You don't have to reveal too much.
American Tail, Somewhere Out There. How's that?
Okay. I won't ask you to sing it, though. What's your favorite Saturday night record? These are tough, aren't they? Yeah.
These are tough.
Okay. Well, I've only got one more to go.
Oh, man. I mean...
We can come back to it.
Probably listening to something Nina Simone.
Good choice. All right. And your Sunday morning record? Sunday morning, easy listening.
Sunday morning would
maybe
be
some of that.
The soundtrack to My Fair Lady.
Good ones.
How's that?
Thanks for playing along for the lightning round questions. Milquetoast Company will appear at Dazzle on Saturday, November 11th for a 7 p.m. show. Tickets are available now at dazzledenver.com. And as James was mentioning earlier, if you buy a ticket, you get a CD, or an advanced copy of the new Run Rant and Rave?
Run Rant Rave.
Run Rant Rave. Say that fast.
Yes, think, live, laugh, love. Run Rant Rave. Thanks
for your time today, James, and have a great show at Dazzle.
Thank you so much, Steve. I really appreciate having me on.
If you're enjoying the Backstage Jazz Show, we'd love for you to like, subscribe, and leave a review on Apple Podcasts.
The Backstage Jazz Show was recorded at Little Raven Studios in downtown Denver, and our producer was Craig Stevens. You can find Backstage Jazz wherever you listen to podcasts. Be sure to stop by our website, backstage-jazz.com, where all past and current episodes have been archived. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, you can email us at backstagejazz@fastmail.com. This is Steve Roby. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time on Backstage Jazz.
You've been listening to the Backstage Jazz Show. Join us next time for more great jazz and interviews with your favorite musicians.